Forgiveness stands between illusions and the truth, between the world you see and that which lies beyond, between the hell of guilt and heaven's gate. So, if we want to get from this place of viewing this world as sin, of viewing this world as evil, death, hatred, suffering, pain, hard, difficult, not enough to go around, all this shit, right? When we have all these thoughts and beliefs, it's all illusion, it's all separate from God. What stands between the two is forgiveness. Forgiveness is at the altar of truth. So just like we were saying at the beginning, when we become aware of all these thoughts and this construct that we have, we lay them at the feet of truth, and truth replaces those illusions with the light, with the truth, with the words of God, with all of this stuff, right? So it's the same thing here. It is the forgiveness that you embrace and the enter, and it's the forgiving of your own misperception, your own separation within your own mind. That is where the forgiveness happens, then it extends to your brothers and sisters. But it first happens within the self, where we go within ourselves, take all of our illusions, all our thoughts of separation, all of our thoughts of sin, all of our thoughts of not good enough, all of our thoughts of unworthiness, all of our thoughts of doubt, all of these thoughts, and we recognize them all as the whole thought system. They're not separate parts. Not Hitler's not worse than a pedophile. A pedophile is not worse than someone who, steals crackers from a store. Like the person who, whatever. There's no separation. There's no order and difficulty. They're all the same. It doesn't matter. It's represented in form differently, but it's still the same mistake of separation. So, when we choose to truly forgive, we take this mind of ego, that is the mind of separation, and we recognize that this is not who we are, this is not what we want, and we place it on the altar before truth. In this place of space and openness is when truth comes to us. Truth brings forward the forgiveness that we need so that we may see through the eyes of truth instead of illusion, therefore freeing ourselves and freeing the world. Woo. It says, across this bridge, as powerful as love, which laid its blessings on it, are all dreams of evil and of hatred and attack brought silently to the truth. Is that not what I just said, pretty much? They are not kept to swell and bluster and to terrify the foolish dreamers who believe in them. He has been gently wakened from his dream by understanding what he thought he saw was never there. Now that's true forgiveness. I first saw sin. I thought that they had sinned and they had corrupted my family, my brothers and sisters around the world, right? That's the previous belief. And then when you bring it to the forgiveness, you recognize, oh my God, they didn't sin at all. It was a mistake of mind. They thought that this was their true reality, and it's not. How could I possibly condemn my brother for doing something he didn't know that he was doing? Oh my goodness, thank you, God. Forgiveness welcomed into the mind. Thank you, God. Right? So simple, so easy, gently, softly awakening, like a kiss on the cheek to wake you from a night's sleep. Same thing, right? He has been gently wakened from his dream by understanding what he thought he saw was never there. And now he cannot feel that all escape has been denied him. He does not have to fight to save himself. He does not have to kill the dragons which he thought he pursued. Nor need he erect the heavy walls of stone and iron doors he thought he would make him safe. This is talking directly to the world and how it views itself. The world believes that it needs to feel safe and to feel protected and to feel guarded by having the guns and the dragons and the iron walls and the stone and all of these things to make them safe. You feel safe because you have bombs and guns. What the hell? That's because you're perceiving sin in the other brother. You're perceiving that they may attack you, they may fight you, they may hate you, they may sense the sense of war. And therefore we go into a defend mode where we try and defend ourselves with the same form of artillery, with the same form of hatred and defiance and all this crap. And we think it's going to save us and protect us. And in reality, all it does is cause more of this shit to come upon us. You're just getting in this cyclical, endless cycle of thinking that we are separate and thinking that we have to fight and protect and defend and insanity, right? He can remove the ponderous and useless armor made to chain his mind to fear and misery. And that's exactly what these forms of defense do. It's keeping your mind in chains of fear and misery. His step is light, and as he lifts his foot to stride ahead, a star is left behind to point the way to those who follow him. Holy crap. This is huge, right? If a single brother, right, previously believed himself to be attacked to have to defend, to fight in war, to kill, to protect, to condemn, to judge, all of these things. If a brother assumed that and took that as his role, but then got to the point where he remembered that this is no longer meaningful, that I no longer want to do this, that I no longer want to live in the mind of fear and misery, what happens is he takes a step towards the light. That's it. He takes a step towards the light. And then what happens is he takes a step towards the light guides him and shows him the way and frees him home. And this light shines above him, and he allows all of his brothers to follow him out. One person having one choice to leave the mind of separation, to leave the mind of ego, allows everybody around them to follow and get out and become free also. This is the power of the love of God. This is the power of the light within our mind. This is the power of forgiveness. Forgiveness must be practiced, for the world cannot perceive its meaning, nor provide a guide to teach you its beneficence. Something like that, There is no thought in all the world which leads to any understanding of the laws it follows, nor the thought which it reflects. So this is saying we can't turn to the world to teach us forgiveness. It's in no book, it's in no guru, it's in no religion, it's in no anything. Forgiveness is not taught but experienced. Forgiveness happens within our own minds and extends to the minds of others. That's why forgiveness must be practiced. Because that's what it is. Forgiveness is recognizing the thoughts that are separate from God, bringing them the truth, and having truth show us another way. Having truth heal it through forgiveness and give us our true thoughts of God instead of remaining in these thoughts that are separate from Him. Right? There's no thought in all the world, which leads to any understanding of the law as it follows, nor the thought which it reflects. And the thought is the love of God, right? It is as alien to the world as is your own reality, and yet it joins your mind with the reality in you. So this world, to think that, God is here right now, always within us and guiding us in every step of the way, is alien to this world. Most of the things in which I speak of and which I share are alien to the world. And along with that is the true meaning of forgiveness. Not many people have embraced true forgiveness in this world because they don't know what it is. They try and seek it and find it and do the best they can, but the answers won't come from there. The answers come from within ourselves. But as we embrace this true forgiveness, it joins our mind with the reality within ourselves. And then this allows our mind to become the vessel for God, right? It says, today we practice true forgiveness, that the time of joining be no more delayed. For we would meet with our reality in freedom and in peace. Our practicing becomes the footsteps lightening up the way for all our brothers who will follow us to the reality we share with them. So this is exactly like what I was saying earlier, is that when each of us on our own choose to accept forgiveness for ourselves, we become the light and the way and the truth for all of our brothers to follow. That sounds quite familiar. Thanks, Jesus. That this may be accomplished, let us give a quarter of an hour twice a day and spend it with the guide who understands the meaning of forgiveness and was sent to us to teach it. Let us ask of him, let me perceive forgiveness as it is. That is all. Let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Then choose one brother as he will direct and catalog his sins as one by one they cross your mind. So as we do this, we can choose one person, one brother in our world, and we take a thought of our brother in our mind. And then we start to think about all the ways in which he's sinned, all the ways in which he's committed evil acts and done all these things. And we let it come to mind. We become aware of it. We watch it. It says, be certain not to dwell on any one of them, but realize that you are using his offenses, but to save the world from all ideas of sin. So you're starting to look at all the ways in which he sinned, and you're believing them. So it's saying watch them, see them, look at them, don't identify with them, but see that they're in your mind and that that's okay. It says, briefly consider all the evil things you thought of him. And each time you ask yourself, would I condemn myself for doing this? Right? So it's a mistake. Would you condemn yourself for making a mistake? Would you condemn your child for making a mistake? Would you hold your child in sin because they, maybe missed the toilet or something, right? It's a mistake. We all make mistakes. And so we need to ask, when we see these thoughts of evil and sin and judgment in our mind that we think that our brothers have done, and we ask ourselves, would I condemn myself for doing this? Would I feel guilty if I did this? Right? It says, let him be freed from all the thoughts you had of sin in him. Let him be freed of all the thoughts of sin you had in him. And now you are prepared for freedom. As you free your brother, you free yourself. Our brothers are children of God with us. So if we can't see them sinless, how can we see ourselves sinless? If we can't see them guiltless, how can we see ourselves guiltless? It's not possible. Everybody around us is our mirrors. And until we see them as perfect, as loved, as whole, as, made mistakes that are absolutely forgiven, that is all. It says, and now you are prepared for freedom. If you have been practicing thus far in willingness and honesty, you will begin to sense a lifting up, a lightening of weight across your chest, a deep and certain feeling of relief. That's true. The time remaining should be given to experiencing the escape from all the heavy chains you sought to lay upon your brother, which were laid upon yourself. Look at all of your brothers. Everyone, every brother and sister, like every person, every soul in this world is our brothers and sisters. If there's anyone in this world at all, from TV, from the government, from, the names that I have mentioned earlier, anyone that we have grown up with, anything that we've experienced, look at them. Look at them and see all of the thoughts and the judgments you have about them. Bring them up, become aware of them, and start to let them go. Start to allow yourself to escape from the heavy chains that you laid upon your brother, keeping him locked in condemnation and guilt and sin. And as you put those on your brother, you are also putting them on yourself, because you're believing them as real. And if you believe them as real, you're believing them as real and a possibility for you. But it's not a possibility because they are false and they are not true. Forgiveness should be practiced through the day, for there will be so many times when you forget its meaning and attack yourself. There's so many times we can attack ourselves for our body, for what we've done, for what we've said, what we should have said, what we thought that we said, blah, 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 right? When this occurs, allow your mind to see through this illusion as you tell yourself. So now these are new thoughts that Jesus is giving us to replace the old thoughts of condemnation, of judgment, and sin against ourselves or our brother. Let me perceive forgiveness as it is. Should I accuse myself of doing this? I will not lay this chain upon myself. In everything you do, remember this. No one is crucified alone, and yet no one can enter heaven by himself. Wow. Wow. So as we crucify another brother, we are crucifying ourselves. And as we free ourselves, we are freeing our brother. Amazing. Amazing. The truths and the gifts of love, the truth and the gifts of healing, the truth and the gifts of who we are come in our willingness to free ourselves from the mind that is separate from God. Embracing forgiveness in our minds and our hearts so that we may see only through the eyes of love, seeing Christ in the minds of our brother, and seeing only that, speaking only to that, and bringing peace and love and joy into this world. Thank you, God. If anybody is interested in partaking in a forgiveness workshop, Tom and I have done them before, and we've been talking about doing one again. So we would love to put one on anywhere at any time for all who are interested, and we'll lay before you the step-by-step means of, unraveling the mind, and, we teach perception and projection and obviously forgiveness and the true power of our mind in a step-by-step format. So I put that out there. I feel, inspired to share that. My website and email address is below, and if you feel that you want to reach out or talk to me or learn more about forgiveness or about yourself, or about how to see things differently and experience things differently in life, let me know. I'm here to help all who feel the call, and I am thankful to be experiencing this with all of you. So I thank you for listening. Thank you for taking the time to hear your own soul talk to you through me, and I'm thankful to be a part of it. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Love you. Bye.